Oh boy, these games sure do have words. But soon we're getting Pokemon on the Switch. This hybrid handheld console with real power. I mean, what could go wrong? Okay, not really what I expected, but it's a warm up. They cut half of the Pokedex. Did that Onyx just pop in? Wait, it's a little janky, but kind of fun? Are we back? Never mind, my Pokemon just fell through the floor. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, are the next Pokemon games actually going to be good? Now, we had Let's Go, right, which it was a little disappointing, it looked, I mean honestly, nowadays it's the best looking Pokemon game the Switch has, but it was this Pokemon Go sort of styled game. It was a little awkward, and I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. I certainly wasn't. But they did promise, oh, we're gonna make a mainline game, don't worry, for the Nintendo Switch. And, I was thinking to myself, we're gonna get something good, we're gonna get something amazing. Really excited, I think everyone was. And then Sword and Shield was revealed, and, ended up being, I mean, overall it's alright. Like, it's just like an average game. It's not a very good Pokemon game. It doesn't do too much out of the ordinary, but, it's Pokemon Shield. It was disappointing. I mean, the Dex cut, the wild area did not look very impressive at all, and just not what you wanted from a console game. And then we had Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which, say what you will about that game. Me personally, I do think it is just Diamond and Pearl, which I do like Diamond and Pearl. So I don't think it's that bad, but that's a video. That's a whole other video. But yeah, very disappointing, like 1-to-1 remake. Legends Arceus, finally we got something fresh. I don't think it was perfect. I mean, I wasn't super into the gameplay loop, but it was open world Pokemon for the first time, and it was like really cool to see, what the next Pokemon game might be like. And then we got Scarlet and Violet revealed to us, and at the time it just did not, we had Legends Arceus, and then we have, like, oh my god, already? At the end of the year we're getting another new Pokemon game? It clearly just was not ready. I mean, they had 3 years of development, well, less than 3 for Legends of Arceus. I think they were working on Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus at the same time, but yeah, Scarlet and Violet really needed more time in the oven there. Now, Legends Z is coming to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I heard rumors that Legends Z runs, 30 with frame drops on the base Nintendo Switch system, but, the next Switch 2, I mean, we saw the trailer, it looks very smooth. I don't know if we're getting 4K or not, but, it just looks, I mean, visually, it looks a lot better than what we're used to. Now, I'm not saying, graphics are everything, but when it comes to Pokemon, we're not really used to having, graphics that look good. And, this is the first game I'd say, like, they finally are starting to look like acceptable, Now, the scale of the game is quite small. It's all going to take place in Lumio City. If you played X and Y, you'd be familiar with, that city. And, it's not as big as it is in X and Y. It looks like it's going to be bigger. With these, like, little wild sections. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they'll do it, especially with this, like, live combat system that they've been showing off, and also just the amount of time they had to develop this. We did have, like, DLC for Scarlet and Violet. I think that was 2023. But we didn't have another Pokemon game announced or shown off until, this game. which we got like revealed to us in 2024, and now we're finally seeing gameplay of it in 2025. I'm hoping it's alright. I really hope that rumored Gen 10 game isn't gonna be, just next year. That would be, I really don't think that would work. I really think that would be a sign of, oh geez, this needed more time. But here's to hoping. But I wonder, will Legends ZA even sell? Because when Legends Arceus came out, just a few months after, they showed off Scarlet and Violet, so that was coming out at the end of the year. I really think that affected Pokemon Legends Arceus' sales. So, I mean, it's also, it's like a spin-off. It's not a mainline game, and they didn't push it marketing-wise as well. But, if they do just say, like, oh, Generation 10, 2026, I think that'll, like, really affect the way people see Legends ZA. Now, Generation 10, if you, heard from maybe Centro Leaks or some other Pokemon Leak YouTubers, you might have heard Generation 10 is supposedly going to be like an archipelago sort of region. And, I've played Wind Waker, I've played games where you sail around, and I would love to see Pokemon in this sort of open format where you're sailing around, I don't know, catching Pokemon, you're going to the Pokemon Plago, or whatever it was called from Sun and Moon, and get the beans, and then you, like, go collect, I think it could work. I think, and maybe you sail around on Whale Lord, or like Kyogre, like you could in, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, surf on your water-type starter. Now, the thing is just, a lot of people, will look at these newer Pokemon games and they'll, say, they'll blame Game Freak, Blame Freaker. That sounds like something that would be a thing that people say, Blame Freak, but now that I think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But now, Pokemon is co-owned by Game Freak, Creatures Inc., and Nintendo. The Game Freak develops the games, and Nintendo will publish these games. I'm not really sure what Creatures does. I think I remember seeing their logo in Pokemon Ranger, but that's anyway. It's Nintendo's the one pushing these games out as well. I mean, you have the anime. They want the games to come out with the anime, and the toys and whatnot. So delaying a game is pretty much an impossible ask, but if they could just have a generation, just have Generation 9 last a little longer so we can, like, get a good product this time, because the games are really suffering from the schedule. These 3D open spaces are just not gonna cut, it's not gonna cut it with this development time. We need lots of time for these big open RPGs. If we want a good Pokemon game, we need to wait. And I'm sure that they know this. I'm sure Game Freak knows. I'm sure Nintendo knows. They thought, what I thought, when I was playing Scarlet and Violet, what if they knew this was not gonna work within the development time that they had? They damn well known that it was gonna be a buggy mess at launch, and they'd have to patch it and give it DLC. But they made a lot of profit. They made a lot of money. Anyway, I guess it just didn't matter. But perhaps what I was gonna say is, these games were rushed out the door. Maybe it was a way to show Nintendo and maybe higher ups, they have this good open world Pokemon idea to show that this is not going to work with the development time we were given, and we really need more time to make these games. So if you want us to make a really good video game and not have our reputation completely ruined, then give us the time to make an amazing game. That's kind of the message I feel like I got when playing Scarlet and Violet, seeing these characters' lip flaps and not voiced at all. Seeing my Pokemon fall through the floor, or my eyes pop out of my head when hanging out with friends online. It's... I don't know, that's kind of just what I was thinking while playing it. Anyway, I really hope Generation 10 can deliver. If not, you know, maybe Legends ZA will be good. I don't want to wait till Generation 11. I've always been a big Pokemon fan. I'll stick with them through and through, no matter how bad they get, just to see how it's going, even if I don't like them as much anymore. Anyway, that's it. Have a nice day. I'll be good. Goodbye.